Welcome to the 24th episode of the MC Knitting Adventures podcast. My name's Colleen.
And my name is May. Welcome to the returning viewers, and for those of you who are watching us for the first time, welcome. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Yes, we hope that you had a great holiday season and everything went well, and it's 2019. I cannot believe it's 2019. What happened? We were so busy over the holidays, and I'm sure you were so busy over the holidays also. Today's adventure takes us to Sarnia, Ontario. We were able to visit there, I believe, over the holiday season. Yep. Mm-hmm. The weather was cooperating for us, because exactly. Sometimes you can't always tell. Now, we went to Sarnia, which is not too far, about an hour away from where we live.
Right.
And we went to Country Yarns, and we also went to...
Heaven is Handmade.
Heaven is Handmade, yes. Wow. Yeah, two great places we went to, so we can't wait to share our experience with you, and we can't wait to... embrace 2019 and see where that brings us.
Exactly. It's hard to believe that a year ago is when we started.
Wow, we've been doing this for a year. And I've missed it over the holidays. We haven't been doing this for a little bit. And it's nice to be back. It's nice to see everybody and talk to everybody again.
And I just want to let you know, look, it's still a little funny. It's still a little fat.
Happy New
but
Year.
It moves. So this is good. Okay.
Nice.
Back on track.
Yes. Now, I have some New Year's resolutions. I want to know what yours are, Colleen, because we really haven't talked about this.
No.
But I have some that yours might entail some knitting. Mine does not. But mine entails, of course, like I think half the world is talking about weight and getting healthy. And
I'm with you on that one. Absolutely.
Now, somebody at my vintage, I don't really care about the weight so much as I do about the health.
Correct.
And so for me, 2019 is all going to be about eating properly, exercising, and incorporating that into my life. And when we travel, I'm hoping that when we do our little knitting adventures, that we can take our bikes or we could be with nature. And I'm hoping that is the kind of where we go with our...
I'm really excited about that.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
I love being outside.
Good.
Yep. Not necessarily in the winter when there's lots of snow, but I like being outside.
So maybe one of our adventure things could be, what bike trails we found and what we found interesting. Because I know there was one in Paris when we went to visit a yarn store in Paris, Ontario, that there was this great bike trail that I heard about, and it goes all the way to Cambridge, Ontario, which is a couple hours away.
Right. Yeah.
And I'd like to try stuff like that as we go on these adventures. So I'm hoping to incorporate some healthy lifestyle choices. I could probably, might last a little bit. Like everybody else. Right. But truly just being kind, positive, try to be the best person I can be for 2019.
Okay.
That's mine. Now, good. I want to hear all about yours.
Well, I would like to knit from my stash as much as possible. It's not always possible. Sometimes I have one skein of yarn and I need something to go with it. But we have had, this is our 24th time speaking.
Right.
So we've had lots of adventures and lots of souvenirs, and so I want to try and work on my stash. I'll take a little bit more from my stash. But as far as what you're saying, healthy, fit, enjoying outside, and just being positive, I think it's fantastic.
And maybe we can videotape some of our adventures, like putting up the tent and all that kind of stuff would be fun. And we have a kayak that we can get out, and we can do all that kind of thing. That is our New Year's resolutions. We're looking forward to spending some time with you this year. If you want to talk about your New Year's resolutions, that would be awesome. We'd love to hear
comment down below.
Yeah,
that would be great.
Or tell us what you're going to be doing. That would be great. So before we begin and to talk about our Country Yarns and our Heaven's Handmade store, Colleen will talk about what we're wearing.
All right, May. It's your job. Jazz hands. So there are May's thrummed mittens.
Christmas present.
And May is not on Instagram, and I'm so thankful because she just doesn't go. So I was watching the Bakery Bears, and Kay Jones, who is the wife of the Bakery Bears couple, was doing these thrummed mittens, and I thought I can do those. So it is a pattern by Debi Wilbur, who spins a good yarn. There's the pattern. It's lovely. And May was unable to go to the Woodstock Fleece Festival, so I had some chance to buy some yarn. So I went to Northern Bay Fibres. There it is. And I got some merino, some roving. And I'd never worked with it before. It's called roving.
Wow, look at that. Look at that roving. It's very soft when you feel it like this.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I did.
Sorry to interrupt. Does it come in different colors?
Oh, yes. This Northern Bay Fibres, oh my goodness, so many fibers. You can imagine me without you trying to pick colors.
No.
So there are the Thrums. I'd never done them before. I loved it. I did warn you when I gave the mittens to you, it's okay, it's going to feel weird to start. But are they warm?
Oh, I tried them out the other day because we had like -10 or -12 outside scraping my car. And I'm without a doubt, and I'm not just saying this because we're on the podcast and Colleen's sitting right here. I'm not just saying this, but they are absolutely the warmest mittens I think I've ever had.
Yeah.
And they're thick. I can't believe, actually when Colleen surprised me with them at Christmas, I thought, why would Colleen buy me mittens? I thought, she knits. Like, it doesn't make sense because they look like they were bought mittens because they're so substantial in here with all this. And turns out through the conversation, I realized Colleen says, yeah, and I made those mittens for you. And I was like, you made those mittens?
It's nice that I could still surprise her.
Who can do that?
That's right.
That is phenomenal. You should teach a class on how to make these mittens.
I don't know.
Do most knitters know how to do this?
No. And I'm just going to let anybody who wants to try to do them. It's great. It is easy. My only fear was, would I have enough of the Roving? Because it's hard because you take some and you pull it out. And so what I did, because I'm a math teacher and it's what I do, I weighed what I had. I divided it equally into 2. You can tell that maybe I didn't divide exactly into 2, but I also was a little bit more careful on the second mitten, I think, because I didn't have a whole bunch left after the first one.
Wonderful surprise. Absolutely amazing. Totally warm. Highly recommend if you could knit a pair of these. Wow.
Now, I am going to tell you, and I've already told me, one of the mittens is slightly a different size. They're exact number of rows, and that had to do with my fractured, dislocated finger, and I had made one, and then when I made the other one, the tension was just a little off. But I think they still fit you okay, they still keep you warm, so I think we're good to go.
Thank you so much. Great surprise. Wonderful.
Good, I'm glad. The other thing that May's wearing is this tie that I made for her out of, let me find my ball band. It's Sirdar Snuggly Baby Bamboo. We've used it a lot. I love it. And I had one ball of it. It's 50 grams, and I wanted to make something for May that would be easy to put on. And so, as I was getting my finger back to knitting, I thought, this is going to practice. I'm going to practice my knitting back and forth. I'm just going to get my tension going again. And I'm trying to remember how many stitches. I don't know. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, maybe 20 stitches, I think. And I slipped the last stitch, so excuse me, but I'm going to show you. So if you look along the edge here, I don't know if you can see it, it's a slipped stitch so that it makes this nice edge. And I think it really makes it look nice. That color is brilliant on you, so that was another little treat for you.
I'm really happy with it because, you know what, with all the bulk, it's kind of a nice, but it gives you that little bit of color when you're wearing a white blouse. Right. And if Colleen knows me at all,
I do.
When we go into a clothing store, I go directly for white blouse. I'm not sure what that's all about.
I don't know if you have 50 in your closet or not, but I know you have a lot.
And so it just kind of brightens up a white blouse or whatever. It's kind of nice just to throw on. Gives a little bit of color. So thank you again.
So that's what she's wearing. Now, one other Christmas gift that I did get for May was definitely a surprise for her. So if you want to...
Oh, is this one here?
This is...
Oh, look.
So I decided that we needed a mascot, but I didn't just want to be silly about it. So there are these kits that are called Hug This. And I'm just going to hold this up because it's big. And what happens is it kind of comes in this oval shaped container about this big. So it's got the wee stuffed animal and it's got this ball of yarn, and the yarn is designed that you can make a baby blanket out of it. And I think you can see, and I'll make sure May takes a picture of that. You can see that when it's all done, this becomes the baby blanket. So if you're going to give that gift away, then you can have the baby blanket tucked in with this little stuffed animal for the baby.
Oh, that's a great idea.
You're not a baby, but we needed a mascot. Yeah, so there's our wee sheep.
Yeah.
That's going to help us.
That's cute. Thank you for that.
You're very welcome. Sometimes I'm just silly and that's all there is. So as far as what I'm wearing, I am wearing the Katy shawl. Now, this is just a planning page, but it gives you an idea. Now, this shawl you can do with mini skeins. I had an advent calendar that has mini skeins, so I could maybe do this again with some mini skeins. Not sure, but I love this. And so this is of 2 different yarns. The navy is Malabrigo, And May's going to take pictures. I'm holding them up just because it's what I do. And it's called Cote de Jour. It's lovely. It's kettle dyed pure superwash merino wool. So I like that. And then this was my first adventure into Crooked Kitchen yarns. And that is this color, which is this kind of bluey gray. It's called Ghosts in the Machine, and it's so amazingly, there's this hint of blue, but it's gray. And we've talked before, sometimes when I wear gray, I look gray, and it's not such a good thing. But this gray has enough of the blue in it that I don't think it washes me out quite the same.
I think it's really nice. It's a nice color. I like it.
There you go.
And it looks like I have a cowl similar to these stitches.
You do. So this is how I hacked this. So I was knitting this. I was up to here, and I just held this part up like this. I said, May, what do you think? Do you like it? And she went, I need one of those. And I went, okay, well, she's never going to wear something this big, but if I could do it. And so that's when I sewed up the back and made you that small wee cowl. And you like it, and it's nice to wear.
I really like it, yeah.
So that's a big, long story about happy 2019, what we're wearing, new mascots, all kinds of good things. And next we're going to talk about finished objects. My first finished object is a hat. And I had started this hat for May because I was wanting to force myself to do some continental knitting. I'd taken a class with Kate Atherley, great teacher by the way, and she said the best way to do it is to pick something to knit and then force yourself to do it. And I thought, okay, my finger's sore, I'm going to do it that way, and so I did. So I used Red Heart Soft. It's 100% acrylic, and basically I designed a pattern. We won't ask you to put it on, but here's the hat. Can you hold that up?
Sure.
So what I did was, it's a 2x2 inch rib, and then I practiced a few purl bumps just because I wanted to make sure I was practicing purl. The one thing that I found interesting about continental knitting, it's actually to do a ribbing with when you are doing continental knitting. The purl stitches come easier. It's very interesting. I was surprised. And how do you like that hat?
I love the hat. I love the hat. It's soft. It fits good. It's not too tight on my head.
Yeah, it really looks good. You don't tend to wear hats, but
No,
that
I
one
don't.
looks really good on you.
I put it on, but I don't want to mess me.
I know. It's all about the hair.
Maybe next time I'll put it on.
Okay.
Or maybe near the end I'll put it on and then put
Oh,
a picture.
that would be a good.
Or you know what? We'll take a picture of me in it.
Perfect.
And I'll put a picture up.
Oh, good. That would
Okay,
be
and
great
that's
because
at the
it
end.
really does look good on you.
Yeah, I really like it. And I'm not a hat person. Usually
No.
I'll put a hood up or that type of thing, or my ear muff things. But
Yep.
yeah, it's great. I love it.
Good.
And I like the stitches. I can appreciate all that hard work. And this is the class that you went to, did you say?
It was.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Great job.
I was thrilled. So
Yeah.
that's another
Great.
present for May. May had a good holiday. She
I
was
did.
doing well. Now, the next finished object I'm going to show you, I've already shown you at one point in time, and this is technically not the finished object, but it shows you the idea of it. So what I wanted to do, May was working with a lovely lady named Connie, and I wanted to do something nice for her because she'd been so good with you.
Yes.
And so I said, May, you were working, and I thought, I'll just knit this quick. So I made up this cowl. So this is called a basket weave cowl, and it's by Stacy Kietzer. I apologize for the ink in my printer. It is not working very well.
Were you running out of ink?
I was running out of ink. And yet I needed a picture, so I've got it. And what I used for hers was Charisma Tweed. And so it is 97% acrylic and 3% viscose. I'd used this before. This is more of a marble color, but just so they get the idea, it was about that size. It was a little taller because this tweed has more yardage in it than this. I think it's marled or something. And so, did she like it?
She loved it. And she says it was very warm.
Oh, good.
It feels like this would be warm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there's, I don't know if it's the stitches there that are making
Yeah.
it feel thicker.
Yeah.
Feels very thick and warm. So
Yeah. So there was another lady that May worked with as well, and I think there's one in the works for her.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
My friends are going to love this.
Yeah,
My
exactly.
coworkers are going to like it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get ready and do that one as well because that was good. And the last one are birthday socks, because now I'm telling you, I always try to use a different pattern for socks. And the first time I knit socks for everybody for the year, I knit them the same pattern just because I knew it was working well. And it fits everybody's foot. So the thing is, when you're knitting a sock for somebody who lives in another house, you don't want to take a chance. So I was knitting socks for Scott. And
My son, Scott.
And his birthday is the 2nd of February. Yes, 2nd of February, I'm right. And so I wanted to make sure that he would like them and they would fit. So it is Katy Loose Sock Pattern by Dragon Pine Designs. You've seen this before. What I love about this pattern is, depending on the yarn you use, depends what happens. So the yarn that I used is Premier Yarns Wool Free Brights. And this comes in all kinds of colors. So the black and the gray are all the same. And then the stripe that you're going to get is going to be a different color. So
I love this color of these socks.
So I asked May to select what color she wanted. Because I've got green and orange. I kind of went and scrounged it all as much as I could because I think this yarn, and it's acrylic and nylon, and it's the best for the kids who are going to throw their socks in the washing machine. It's best for them.
Yeah.
So I used a 2.0 millimeter needle, and I really like the fabric of it. It's going to be a little sturdier, and I think Scott's going to like them. So.
He loves his socks. He loves his knitted socks from Colleen. He'll often, when he wears them and we're out, he'll always show us that he's got them all, which is kind of sweet that he appreciates them very much. Exactly. So he's going to love these.
Yeah. So they're ready for his birthday, so I am thrilled with that.
All right.
And now we know who the next person's birthday is, but we're not saying right now. So those are my finished objects. And now we're going to talk about May's finished objects.
Well, I had a finished object, a calendar from when we went to our vacation. And that's another one of my New Year's resolutions. I want to maybe do another calendar or come up with a great idea for a calendar. Maybe, I don't know, maybe food or maybe some knitting products I could put in a calendar or something. I don't know.
That would
I'll have to be creative. If you have any ideas for a calendar, please let me know. I'd love to hear from you about that. So the calendar was done before, but because it's January, I thought that would be a perfect time to put one of the finished objects up.
Exactly.
Now, because we were in Sarnia, we had gone to Sarnia in the summer, and we often go to Sarnia. We get French fries. There's a casino. We walk along the St. Clair River.
We know how to have a good time.
we like that, walking along to get those fries. Yep. One of our trips to Sarnia, not this particular one because it was cold, we did see, and I'll put a picture of that up, and I think there's a picture of the video that I put up, and it is driftwood that they made a mobile with it. And that's where I got the idea from. And there's so much driftwood because we live by the Great Lakes. There's Lake Huron, there's Lake Erie, Lake Ontario. There's all kinds, and we go to Port Stanley too, and there's all kinds of driftwood. And so I thought, there's where I initially got this idea. So I actually didn't pick the driftwood up in Sarnia, but I picked the driftwood up in Port Stanley, and I made something that we saw in...
Okay, let's see what it looks like.
This is immobile, and I've seen them often in people's places.
Exactly. And it's beautiful. Yeah, and I love the beads that you chose. Yeah. Those are really, really nice.
And there's so many different things you could do. This was just a little tester to see what it would look like.
I think you did an amazing job.
But there's hundreds of this on our beaches. So it's all free and a little bit of wire through there, and here you have a mobile, and you can do all kinds of fancy
things. And you had to get out a power tool, I'm sure.
I did. I had to drill holes on all this, and I didn't drill the holes very even to start with, and then I realized I should measure. Maybe that math teacher's not in me. Anyway, it turned out kind of cute, and I might give it to my friend that lives in Port Stanley because
I think she'd love them.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So there you go. And that's my finished objects.
And next, we're going to talk about works in progress. My first work in progress is actually a hoe. There it is. It's again. And it is the same pattern. It's Katy Loose Sock Pattern by Dragon Pine Designs. But this yarn is incredible. So Estelle has come up with what they call sock twins. And when you buy the sock yarn, I'm going to show you what it looks like. Oh my goodness. You get 2 of these little balls. And it's equal amount. It's exactly the same starting yardage. And so what happens is, and I did this cuff down, so it starts with this kind of tomato red, and then it gradually increases darkness, right? So it starts to add dark, and by the end, it would be black. Now, I'm showing you this. This is what I had left of the first skein. And May, your foot is a size...
I had 7, 8.
8. I think it's a size 8. And there was lots left, so we could have done that. But what I wanted to do was do something fun for May that if she was wearing it at work, they basically would see the dark part, and this is the part that she knows about. So it was kind of a little bit like a mullet, you know, where it's party in the back and business in the front. So this is kind of party at the top and business at the foot. I don't know. That was my idea.
It turned out really nice, actually.
So anyway, that's what I was trying to do for her. And this comes in all kinds of colors. It's fairly new. When I picked this up, this is part of May's the next birthday in the family. So these are going to be for her birthday. So I've got a little bit of time, but I wanted to show you what the skein was before I started on the second one.
I wouldn't have thought that would come out of that. Who would have thought that would make that?
I know.
It's kind of cool.
It's very cool. Yeah. And I still have all this left.
Yeah, mostly. If I had a bigger foot, I think I would have had a black sock.
Well, and I was kind of hoping you'd get more of a black sock, but
hey,
it's good. I'm glad.
I like it. Yeah,
nice dark
perfect
toe there. So that's
Can't wait till they're all
first
finished.
work in progress. My second work in progress is the Campside Cardi. And this one I started a while ago and then hurt my finger, and that's the end of that story. We won't talk about it anymore.
How is your finger, by the way? Is it all fixed up?
You know what? It's doing okay. It's kind of a little tight in the morning, but I'm not finding that it's difficult to hold my yarn. And the other thing is, what I am finding is knitting in some ways is therapy for it, because the doctor said my job was to try and work on that last little bit of being able to close my hand. And that's where I tension my yarn.
Oh,
so it's actually making me do that without thinking about, I got to do those exercises. I'm doing it all the time. So it works really well.
Good.
So this Campside Cardi is by Alicia Plummer. That's not the best picture, but that's okay. And I love it. So I will show you what I have done. So this is
a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
Wow.
But it is a brilliant pattern. So it's top down. So I've got basically it's the back and the front done, and I'm started to work on a sleeve. So I'm working on the sleeve. I was dealing with just a 16-inch circular needle, and I'm now working with DPNs. And I'm just about ready to do the cuff. I've got to measure it and make sure it's the right. My arms are a little bit longer than, for some reason, I don't know how that happened.
Yeah.
But I'm really happy with it. This is Estelle double knit, so it's 50% acrylic, 40% wool, and 10% nylon. There's the ball band, and it is called French Navy, and I love this color.
I like the color.
I want to be able to wear something with jeans. That was the whole reason for picking this color.
Right.
So I don't feel like I'm on Sleeve Island, like I'm never going to get sleeves done. I'm just puttering away at it, doing a little bit at a time, and I'm getting it done.
Yeah, and it'll be great to see this all finished and blocked. You'll probably have to block this, I would too.
I will do that, yes.
Nice.
I know that many of you have made this Campside Cardi, and the one part that I'm a little worried is a little bit strong, but that I'm a little nervous about is I'm going to have to pick up a whole bunch of stitches. So if any of you have done the Campside Cardi and have a way of picking up the stitches that worked well for you, if you can leave me a comment below, that would be fantastic, because sometimes you divide the space up, but I know it's going to go all the way up the front and around the neck and all the way down the back, and I want to make sure that it doesn't get ripply and I do what I need to do. So I would appreciate your help in that. So that is my second work in progress. Now, my last work in progress is a mystery knit along by Cozy Up Designs, and I'm going to put this picture up, but I'm not going to show the pattern. So let me do that, because it is a paid for pattern. I'm just going to do a little quick folding. Sorry for the noise. Katy and Christy may not like me doing that. There they are. So this was designed by the two older sisters, and it's called the Twin It Up Mystery Knit Along.
And I'm going to put spoiler alert or something.
Right.
Spoiler alert, because is this legal? You can do this.
I can do
I'm a little
this.
nervous.
No, it's okay. Now, there was a problem with Instagram. Some people were posting it as their 4th or 5th picture, and then depending on when you scrolled through, depending on what picture it showed, I think people are being a little bit more mindful of that. So I have finished Clue 2, which came out last Monday, and Clue 3 is supposed to come out this Monday. So most people who are working on it will have seen it, but I'm going to ask you to put up a big red flashing something, stop sign, spoiler alert, whatever that is, or I'm giving you a warning.
All right.
It is a 3 skein fingering shawl, and I have no idea what it's going to look like at the end. I'm a math teacher who knows how to start a problem and finish a problem and knows what needs to happen in the middle. So this is a little tricky, but I love it. It's fun. So I just keep putting the pieces together as they tell me, and then it's good to go.
There's a lot of great stitches in this, I could tell when
Exactly.
different
Let me
types of
just
things
grab
going on.
this. So there's a cream color and a navy color, and they are both Heritage Cascade sock yarn. Okay.
Do they recommend what colors to use, or you're on your own? Do they
What
give you
they
some
do is they told you that you should have 2 solids and 1 speckled. So that's what they said. But they've also in the pattern talked about what to do if that's not what you have. So I chose to do what they said, 2 solids and 1 speckled. And here is the speckled. There it is. I absolutely love this.
Yes, because it has purple in it.
It has purple in it. And this is by Leo and Roxy. It's a merino cashmere nylon. It is so soft. And it is called Unicorn Burps. Are you kidding me? So it's
Who
got,
comes up with that
I
name?
don't know. It's perfect though.
Unicorn
It's got
Burp.
all kinds of colors. It's got blues and greens and cream and purple, and I'm just loving it. So I really am thrilled with it. I have no idea. There's the right side
Yeah.
for you. I have no idea where we're going. That's where we are.
It's an interesting piece of work. That's all I'm going to say.
It is. And
It's an
so I
interesting
am
piece of work.
thrilled to see what the girls from Cozy Up Designs have in store for us, because it's always lots of fun. Those are my works in progress, and next we're going to talk about our adventure.
As you know, today's adventure takes us to Sarnia, Ontario. We talked a little bit about that at the beginning opening, and that it's only an hour away from us, which
I
is
know. It's
very
great.
handy because it's bordering on the U.S. Blue Water Bridge there that we can cross
Exactly.
to the States very easily. That's one of the 4th largest border crossings in Ontario.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
cool.
So anyway, Sarnia has a population of about 71,594 people.
I thought it was bigger than that, actually.
Yeah, it's
I
not,
did,
it's just a
no.
little town.
I
It's
know.
not that
It's
big.
really nice. I like it.
Well, compared to us, it's a little town.
Yeah.
Compared to some people, it might not be.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
it's one of the largest cities on Lake Huron and Lambton County. It's one of the
Oh,
largest
okay.
ones. So there's not a lot of large cities along Lake Huron there.
Right, right.
It's located on the eastern bank of the junction between the upper and lower Great Lakes, where Lake Huron flows into the St. Clair River, which forms the Canada and U.S. border.
Okay.
So it's directly across from Port Huron, Michigan.
right.
And it's, I think St. Clair River is right in the middle there, so
Okay,
then the
that
Blue
makes
Water
sense.
Bridge goes over there. But Sarnia, there's a little village, Point Edward, so
Yes.
Sarnia and Point Edward's just the outskirts of Sarnia.
Right.
And that's where the bridge, the Blue Water Bridge is Point Edward, that takes you into Port Huron, which is in the USA, Port Huron, Michigan.
Right.
And we often just go there for a drive, and we'll just go to
Exactly.
the States for the
Exactly.
day. Both Colleen and I have what we call a Nexus card,
Yes.
and some of you may have heard about that. And it's not very expensive, and I think it might be $100 maybe for 5 years. I could be wrong on that,
Yeah.
but it's not very expensive. And it just lets the border people know that you're a low-risk traveler.
Right.
And so we did our fingerprints, and we
You had
did
to have an
the
interview process, yeah.
Yeah. And so we take this card and we go through the Nexus line, because sometimes that border, there can be quite the lineups, depends when we go. We go early.
Right.
And we use our Nexus lane, which is quite handy, because then you can go through with very,
Right.
you still have to answer questions and that type of thing, and they
Exactly.
can still pull you over, but you're just classified as a low risk
Which of
traveler.
course we are.
Which we are. We yarn. I mean, how much, they know it's yarn in the trunk. But Sarnia, they have a lot of chemical places around, and they call it Chemical Valley. And I think it's because it has a port there that with the big
Right,
freighters.
that
And
would
if
make
you've
sense.
seen some of these Great Lake freighters,
They're
they
huge.
carry grain and they carry petroleum, and
They're big.
they are massive things. So it just, you don't realize how those Great Lakes are so massive until you see some of those freighters that can go through
Right,
there.
right.
So yeah, so it's a great place. First Nations people have been there for like 10,000 years.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah, so there's a lot of museums there, a lot of, like what we talked about earlier, parkways that we could investigate. There's a park there that borders Lake Huron, which is very popular. It has 200 acres worth of parkland. That I think that's somewhere we could take our bikes, and that's one of the
Oh, that
adventures
would
we
be
have for
great.
the New Year's. That was great. A lot of, back in the day, a lot of like back, even as far back as 1830, a lot of Scottish settlers there.
Ah.
So a lot of the Scottish people and Irish would come over.
Oh,
and
good.
maybe my ancestors were there. I don't
Maybe.
know. A couple of malls there. You know, again, with the population of 71,000, you don't get a lot of you know, big malls that you would get in, say, London. So I think some people probably would go to, you know, Michigan or London to shop.
Right.
But they do have a couple of malls there. What else can I tell you? They used to have Bayfest back in the day. It stopped happening in 2013. Okay. But before that, I don't know if you remember back then.
I never went to it.
Well, a lot of people would go on their boats because they would go from Grand Bend and they would sail down for Bayfest. But they'd have Keith Urban, they'd have Kiss, Aerosmith.
Wow.
Right on the water. It was all free concerts. They'd run into some financial problems because it was free. They ran into some financial problems in 2013, so they stopped doing that. But then in 2017, they started something else. But they don't call it Bayfest anymore. They call it something else. Yeah. Some people that were from Sarnia, you know, Chris Hadfield. He's a famous astronaut. He was born in Sarnia. And a lot of hockey people were from there. Like one of the ones that I know that was born there was Dino Ciccarelli.
Right.
And also Alexander Mackenzie, our second Prime Minister of Canada, was actually buried there. Oh. I do believe Alexander Mackenzie was Scottish. And but he was actually, so he wasn't born there, but he was actually buried there. He passed away. So that's what I know about Sarnia. We love going there. We love going to the waterfront. We love going to the casino. We like walking along the waterfront. Colleen loves getting her French fries.
Yes. Remember those? Good intentions we have at the beginning of January.
Yeah. Okay, we only do that like November because in January, February we're on our diets.
Exactly.
No, we're on our health. It's not a diet.
No.
We're on our health kick on
getting
healthy and incorporating. You know, trying to cut down the sugar, trying to do these walks, trying to, you know, be more with, be more outside and more activity oriented and incorporating it into our life. So.
And I'm going to tell you honestly, there was one time that you and I went to Toronto and you were busy doing some work and I had time to go. And I knew that
there seems to be a pattern with that. Like I'm busy doing work and you have play. Exactly. I don't know, something.
And I knew there was a yarn store that was about a 35-minute walk away. And it was minus 24 out.
I remember that. It was
minus 24 degrees Celsius. It was bitter. And I thought, okay, Colleen, you should be able to walk. So I bundled and I put all the hand knits on I could think that I had with me. And I thought, okay, let's just start walking. And if you start to feel really cold, there's always a bus or a streetcar that goes by. It's not a problem. Just see what you can do. And I was able to walk for 35 minutes in the cold. I was fine and made it to a yarn store. So the reason why I'm telling that story is when you and I look at each other and go, should we go for a walk? And I go, oh, it's too cold. I have to remember that when there was yarn involved, I could go out in minus 24. So maybe I just need to put on a lot of layers and out we go and have a walk.
And you know, that's what it's all about is the layers. If you have those mitts that you knit me, and I have some of those cowls, and we have that hat, and we have maybe some snow pants, and the proper gear, you can be outside in minus 20.
Okay.
It's not really a problem. It's just we make an excuse, and we're going to stop making excuses and start doing.
Okay.
That's our New Year's resolution. That's another one to the list.
Okay. We'll add that to the list.
Yes.
Back on track.
Anyway, back on track. Yeah, we kind of got off track there. But at Sarnia, great little city, great little place to visit. We often drive through it again to go to the States. Love going to the States, doing their little trips there. Exactly. Not too far from us. Not too big. And Colleen will talk about the yarn stores that we visited there because they were absolutely amazing. And the people that we met were amazing. And as you can see by the video, we had fun. And
All right. So the first store we went to is on 2776 LaSalle line. It's actually in Petrolia. It's on the way. And it's Jean Feenstra, Country Yarns.
And as you can see by the video, it's kind of out on country roads. Like
it's
really not anywhere near a mall. Anywhere near people, and we're just very fortunate that when we did go that the weather was great. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to make it.
Exactly. So it's like in a little country house. She's got it set up beautifully. All the yarn is set up nicely, and the needles and all the things that she has.
Very organized.
She's got yarns and needles and lots of samples and needlework, and she ships. Okay, so it says, I just looked on her website. It says free shipping in North America over $50.
And you know
what's
what's
deal.
Really neat is because it's good that she does ship because she is so far out in the I don't know, out in the country.
Right.
Because I don't think it's a well-traveled area, but she does
Yeah.
say that she gets some tourists.
Yeah.
But the fact that she ships is awesome. It makes it convenient for everybody.
And she was really, really helpful.
Oh, yeah.
We were fortunate there was a bit of a sale, so that was a good thing. But I was really, really happy. I mean, I had heard about Country Yarns on the Codependent Knitters podcast. Dawn and Lisa, hello, we love you.
Hi, Dawn, Lisa.
And so that was one of the reasons why we went there. And we were not disappointed. It was cute.
No.
Jean was
Great little
lovely.
store, yeah.
You know, very, you know, explained where things she had in the store. So we were really, really
Yeah,
thrilled.
and you can see by the pictures how wonderful it was and how organized. And
We were thrilled. So that was our first visit. And then we made our way to Sarnia. And then we went to Heaven is Handmade. And there's their card right there. I'll get May to take a picture. And that is run by Caitlin, who's the mom, and Janice is the daughter. And it's 250 North Christina Street, Unit D. That was, I think, the third time. It was either the third or fourth time. There was one time that I dropped this one off at the casino and I went back and looked at the yarn store because then I had a little bit more time to look at yarn. So anyway, but it is great. And they did a lot of explaining to us about how they do things. They've got, like a lot of yarn stores, it's separated by weight. They've got great eye for color. They've got these great ways of displaying the needles and the project bags, and they have so many different things. And the other part that I liked about when I was talking, they were talking about their classes, and they do them for groups, but they also do private classes, especially they said when they're talking about beginners, because beginners, everybody has their own things that they need to work on.
And they're at different levels and progress at different rates.
And I thought that was fantastic. I thought that's really thoughtful and mindful in setting up the business the way that they did. We had tried to go there with that warm weather. We had tried to go there earlier on, and I think there had been a problem with their window. It's been replaced. The store looks beautiful.
Very bright. You could, a big window
Exactly.
makes a difference with all that nice brightness coming in.
Exactly.
Just you get a really good feeling that they're so helpful and kind, and if anybody had a question or if somebody's taking a class, they're
Exactly.
welcome to go in there anytime.
Yeah.
Welcoming to get some help.
Exactly. And she took a lot of time with us, which was great.
Right.
Like, we had lots of questions and we went through, and to be honest with you, the very first yarn that was a little bit more money was some Madeline Tosh that I bought there. And that made a shawl that's beautiful. And it kind of, no Angora, no cashmere.
Okay.
But it was the Bendy Arrow shawl. And maybe I'll have you
Wow.
put a picture in here of that shawl
Okay.
if we've got one. I love that shawl actually. So it's got a fun place for Heaven is Handmade. It's a really nice store. So I was thrilled, and they have some things by Zigzag Stitches. They make project bags and needle keepers and those kind of things, but they really did take the time. And that window is really great because sometimes you're not sure with lighting
Right.
what
The
things look like. So
fluorescent
you can
lights
take
change
it up to the window and you can see.
Now we saw one skein shawl there that you were going to try and knit. I don't
Exactly.
know if you followed through with that or
I
not.
have not yet,
Oh, okay.
but it's ready to go.
Okay.
Yes, I've got
Sounds
lots
like
of
a plan.
one skein things. And that, I didn't get a chance to talk to you about this, and here I am talking to you about this. I think in the next little bit, I'd like to do a knit along, but we're get details sorted out. But I think a lot of us do that. I'm going to buy a one skein something, and then maybe we can do.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, I think it would be nice because it's not going to take forever to get done, and then do that.
Like
so
a
just
short
yeah.
stint. Yeah,
So
that
keep
sounds
watching, and we'll let you know. We'll put it up on Instagram if we're going to do that kind of thing as well.
Sounds great. Now, we had a great adventure. The stores were wonderful. Of course, we have to have lunch somewhere. I don't remember where we had lunch, but I know it's always good. So what happens when you get home? But I know the adventure itself, actually just the driving it's so
It
much
was
fun
good.
going to these different little places
Exactly.
and checking them out. And everybody's always so nice to us and kind to us. And
Yeah. We're really lucky.
we are.
So that is our adventure, and next we're going to talk about our souvenirs. My first souvenir comes from Country Yarns, and when we went, they were having a sale, and so it was great. I could have bought a lot, but I found this skein of yarn, and it is Malabrigo Sock, 440 yards. It is superwash merino, and it is dewberry. And I'm going to ask you to kind of fold
Love
it
the
like
color.
that and hold it up. because it's purple. What a surprise, it's purple.
You can see all kinds of shades of purple.
Exactly.
Almost a blue.
There's layers in it, and I think it would make a wonderful one skein shawl.
Layers is a good word. It's got some depth to it.
Exactly.
You know, I really like that. It's
Should
very
we open
rich
it up?
looking. Yeah.
Do you want to open it up?
It's very rich looking.
Let's see.
Let's see what it looks like.
Okay. There we go. Let's take a look and see. So you can see.
Yes. Doesn't it look rich? It's like a royal purple. That's what it is. You know, that royal.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, nice.
And it's good. I mean, 440 yards, that's a lot. So I think, I can hardly wait.
Okay, and you could probably do this when we're off camera. How to?
Yes, I will do that.
I know there's a way.
We'll do that.
Okay.
So that was, we'd gone before Christmas, and I didn't want to spend a lot of money before Christmas. So I did buy that one, but I would easily go back to Country Yards and have another look around. I really like that shop. So now we're off to Heaven is Handmade, and what I found, they had this great sample, and it's called, it's from Universal Yarn. It's called the Grand Staff Cardi, designed by Amy Gunderson. And here is the picture. And, oh my goodness. So this is going to be a nice summery kind of cardigan, but it's got color in it. So this is Universal Yarn Bamboo Pop. If you hold that up that way so you can see the purple with it. So that's that. It's got a bit of purple. What a surprise. But it's mostly white. Yep. And then this is going to be the color of the stripes.
Wow, that's going to look fantastic.
So I bought a sweater quantity. Now the nice thing is that there's a lot of positive ease in this. And so I am going to be mindful because it doesn't have to do up in the front. It kind of overlaps. So I am thrilled to pieces. And what I really want to do is I really want to kind of start this maybe in March, because if I start it in March, it'll be ready for May. And I'll be able to wear it to work.
And it'll be a perfect time to wear it in May.
Exactly.
I think the weight of it's going to be really nice. When they had that sample, the sample was gorgeous. It was beautiful. Nice weight.
It was the kind of sample that stops May in her tracks. She goes, you need to have one of those.
Yeah, you could do that.
I like when she says that. You need to have one of those. I went, okay, yes I do. And I will grab that yarn right now.
You don't have to say that to Colleen twice.
So I really like that. Now this is the shawl that was the one skein shawl. Let me just see how much.
Oh, is this the one that we?
The Eiku shawl by Rita Korhonen. I'm hoping I'm saying it right. And it needs. It says it needs 466 meters, so I'll have to look at that. But it is great. I think there might be a small and large size in it, but that was the other sample that we saw. And as I said, everybody was so lovely. And it's nice to, you know, go to a store. And as I said, so when I get this done and I'm wearing this sweater, I'm going to remember our day off to Sarnia, doing what we need to do. I'm that sentimental soul that does that. I'm going to remember talking to Caitlin and Janice, and it's just going to be a warm memory for me. And yet, I've got a lovely sweater to wear.
The reason why I'm smiling is because I don't have enough memory to have a sentimental soul. Because I would be going, where did I get that again? Where was that again?
Exactly.
You seem to know exactly where everything came from.
Yeah.
I have no idea. You'll even ask me sometimes, where did you buy that for me? And I'm like, no, I don't know.
Exactly. Now, the one thing that May did say when I brought this up so we could start filming the podcast, she said, oh, did you buy this for me so you could make me a cowl? And I had to go, no, I didn't. Because I have a sweater quantity. If I only had one, it would be yours, honestly.
Maybe if there's something left over.
Yes, that's a good deal.
That would be fun, yeah.
Okay, absolutely. We'll see what's left over when I get that done, and we'll make you a lovely cowl, because that color would be nice on you as well.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good.
Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, comment down below. Let us know what you're thinking, any adventures you'd like us to see. We really do enjoy doing this for you.
And I hope we have a good year together.
Exactly, and happy 2019. So until next time,
you take care.